delicious. To talk about the Spyro Reignited trilogy properly, I first need to talk about Shovel Knight. If you haven't had the pleasure already, the idea behind Shovel Knight was that there are some fundamental aspects of game design that are truly timeless, that no matter how many years go by, certain principles, if followed, will still be fun no matter what graphics or era you attach to them. The thing is though, they had the luxury of building everything from the ground up, of creating something totally new instead of following someone else's blueprint to the note. It understands that everyone's nostalgia goggles are rose-tinted, and that we remember these games being better than they actually were. Therefore, concessions were made, and it's a better game for it. Good enough to show up in the latest Smash Brothers anyway. Looking back on that, and how good it was, I find myself questioning the direct remake approach, as opposed to taking what worked and making something new and interesting out of it. This is at the core of what makes the Reignited trilogy both good and bad, depending on what you're looking for. Now, it's unfair to say that these are just a direct translation of the old games. Anyone who played them at length back in the day will immediately catch how much better Spyro controls. He does exactly what you expect him to do 100% of the time, and it hits that oh so important design milestone of the character your game is based around feeling fun just to control, even before you add objects and enemies to interact with. There's also the expected graphics overhaul, making everything look more beautiful than ever. But pay attention to that word, expected. We've seen this done once before in the Crash trilogy already, so just a bit of the luster is taken out of Spyro's shiny new coat of paint, considering how similar the two are from a distance. Where I got the most out of Spyro's new look is in the details. Things like the grass charring when I use my fire breath, things like the new designs for all of the dragons, side characters, and NPCs. It's more than just polishing out the rough edges. It fully realizes Spyro's world as a place. When it runs well. Yeah, nice try, but I still notice the frame drops through all that motion blur you're not letting me turn off. Yes I did. Past that, if you have any idea who Spyro is, you know what to expect here. These games are one of the reasons that collectathon platformers like Banjo-Kazooie and Rocket Robot on Wheels had a golden era. The act of exploring a space and discovering all the secrets it has to offer has its appeal, especially when you're dealing with magical and fantastical world themes, which these games do. But Spyro's greatest strength, what really sets it apart from the crowd, is its pacing. At their best, Spyro's worlds are densely packed with gems to collect, enemies to fight, and even the side detours for bonus items like orbs or extra lives don't slow you down too much. Before you know it, you've collected everything and you're on to the next level filled with wacky, lovable characters and new gimmicks to keep pushing your skills in unique ways. And that feels great. It's intensely satisfying to me to build mental maps of these places and conquer all the challenges within. I love the feeling of accomplishment this game gives me when I've earned that big 100 hanging over any particular stage. Ripto's Rage and Year of the Dragon even reward being thorough by letting you trade those gems you keep finding for access to more levels in other areas. I disagree with some of the things it locks you out of, though. In Spyro 1, you always had all the tools you needed. I could go into every level knowing that if I played well, I could experience all of it right there and then. In Spyro 2 and 3, I can see something, understand exactly what's required of me, and still can't do it because there's a ledge just a little too tall in the way, or my flight power drains just a little faster if I decide to get clever and go off the route. And when I come back later, I have to kill all the enemies again to reactivate the power-up gates or simply progress. I have to watch these cutscenes again, some of which are unskippable, and listen to these idiots tell me about all the problems I've already taken care of and give me talismans I've already collected. This is why I never understood why people criticized IGN about the too much water thing from Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire. This might be true to the design of the original, but like all the water in that game, it was a problem back then, it's a problem today, and I'm gonna call it what it is. It's pointless, needless, worthless padding. Backtracking is not interesting. This isn't like Symphony of the Night or Super Metroid, where you get the mild satisfaction of blasting through old enemies with a new tool set, because Spyro never gets stronger. He doesn't level up or get new gear, and all the moves you learn are purely exploration-based. The head bonk is not a useful combat technique compared to your charge or your fire. And had this been a completely new game made from scratch with 10 or so more years of collective game design experience to work from, somebody likely would have caught these problems early in development and helped make this a better game. Saying this trilogy is a little too faithful to the originals is not an uncommon criticism, but let me assure you, it's one that is more than deserved. How dare you? How fucking dare you subject sentient beings to a side quest where turtles with no survival instincts endlessly spawn from holes in the wall and walk at half the speed of smell in any direction that is not your fail state, especially when they can get stuck on one another. Whoever's calling the shots here, be it Activision or Toys for Bob, had a chance to fix this. They had a blank check to make this mission not be the literal embodiment of hell, and they blew it. Oh, and get this, there's a trophy for doing this with just headbutts. Look at this. Does this look like fun to you? Trying the same jump over and over again ad nauseum until you accidentally try it from this one magic pixel of a spot? I'll hand it to the beanstalk jump, at least it doesn't require me to go around the whole level for another try like in Spyro 1's Canyon. During the trolley section, I wasn't thinking, oh, this is a nice change of pace. I was thinking, this would be so much easier if I could do it on foot. Why does this alchemist guy take the weirdest, most indirect possible path to his objective, and what do you mean I have to do it again if I leave the level? You don't get to claim nostalgia if it's something people have been complaining about since the original release. They did not add subtitles to the first game because they were quote-unquote committed to staying true to the originals. No industry standard my foot. I can't even name off the top of my head the last time I played a game with voice acting and without subtitles. Guys, seriously. Did anyone raise a stink about the voice acting being better? Is anyone honestly mad about making Spyro control smoother than he ever has? Is anyone worth mention making angry forum posts about adding Sparks' ability to locate gems to all 3 games from the start? How about the new dragon designs? Those aren't from the original, but everyone loves them. If it legitimately makes the game better, I do not care what the devs change. Unless it's this. You give that guy his gun back. You think you can expand upon the foundation for Spyro's moves and abilities in a way the original games never did? Do it. You think a level's design is crap? Take the ideas it was going for and build them over again from the ground up. Is the level called Aquaria Towers? Take it out completely. Nobody will miss it. Nobody will miss this bubble ring segment where you lose track of the seahorse and have to take a shitty guess where he went before time is up. Nobody will miss dealing with enemies that attack you so fast you can't even turn around in time to react to them because of the way swimming works. Nobody is gonna miss getting insta-killed by mecha sharks the first time around because they don't understand how they work. Nobody is gonna miss a water level so poorly implemented that it just reinforces why people hate these things. I know this because it's not the 90s anymore, and hindsight is always 20/20. Don't misunderstand, there's a lot of good here. I wouldn't have played all 3 games to completion if there wasn't. I just wish this all felt like it was made in 2018. I give the Spyro Reignited trilogy my rating of Lunchables pizza. There are so many good memories here. Putting it together bit by bit, showing it off, sharing it with friends. You didn't care that it wasn't the absolute top tier cream of the crop, you were like 7 years old. And yeah, eating it today, it's not nearly as good as you remember it being, but really, you didn't come into this looking for real food anyway. You're here for the nostalgia and nothing more, to experience something you have a deep attachment to with a new perspective. And hey, even buying 3 of them didn't cost you that much. Still leaves you hungry though.